Good morning, everyone. What we're going to be talking about today is simply how to understand supply and demand zones. What a lot of people do not understand about trading is this: there are supply and demand zones that actually affect how suppliers and demand um, enthusiasts, how they actually react towards the market. We're going to first of all write demand and supply zone. Demand and supply zones. First of all, we start with an uptrend. An uptrend always has a control price, and this control price of an uptrend should and always be, what do they call it? Should always be respected, because every price in an uptrend flows around the control price. I'll give a very, very good analysis and a very good, what do they call it? Diagrammatic, schematic. This is typical uptrend. In an uptrend, there's a control price. The price where all the market trends, all the market movements are revolving around, and that is this middle line. Now, there is what they call a supply zone and a demand zone. This is a supply zone. A supply zone is a point where the sellers have more power than the buyers, and there is a strong point between the sellers and the buyers. Now, a demand zone is where the buyers have more power than the sellers, and this is the point where the buyers are more powerful than the sellers, because it is above this control price. This is for an uptrend. Now, I will clean this up. Now, the next step is for a downtrending market. Now, what I'm actually doing is to show you the psychological movements of demand and suppliers, demanders and suppliers, yes, in the market. This psychological movement shows you the zones where they are more powerful and what you should expect from those particular zones. This is a downtrend. Now, I'm going to give a chart analysis or a schematic diagram of how a downtrend looks like. Now, with this downturn, what I do is first of all identify the control price. This is the control price, the middle point where all the prices are revolving around. All the prices are showing that this particular price is the stable and significant point. This is the control price. Now, this is the normal supply zone, and this is the normal demand zone. This is the control price. Now, at this point in time, these are areas where the sellers are having more power than the buyers, and the buyers are struggling. At this point in time, you will not be sure if you should buy here, because the sellers are actually driving the market downwards. So this is what they call the supply zone. By this point in time, where the demand zone. We'll continue much lesson later on.